welcome to the December 5th meeting of the Council on Aging for the Gardner Senior Center. Welcome for everybody who's able to make it. Do we want to start off with the announcement?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Want to do both because I can't remember the other
Yes. Mr. Chair, thank you. Before we begin, Ron suggested, I thought it's a great idea just to take a moment of silence to recognize the contributions of Dick Gardner here on the board. Dick has been involved for many, many years. As many of you know, he passed away recently, and we're all saddened by that loss. In addition, on Friday, we lost the husband, the spouse of our kitchen worker, Shelby Cormier's husband, Jason, passed away unexpectedly on Friday. So if you would all, join us in just a brief moment of silence to remember their service and dedication to the community.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, we're going to start off with the treasurer's report. No, we're going to start off with the acceptance of our minutes from the previous meeting. And everybody looked at it, because I just have to notice one thing on it when I was looking at it last night. We have Nancy absent, and we have Nancy present.
How did you do that?
Yeah, I didn't do it.
But
I'm thinking, I don't see why am I absent?
You were here, I know that. Go back and forth sometimes.
everything else seemed to be okay on it. So.
No, the date for the next meeting, for some reason it says December. I thought I put January 2nd because I wasn't sure what it was. I put the 2nd or the 9th, but I noticed on Mike's agenda that it's January 9th.
So you're fine, these are the minutes, so the minutes reflect the meeting date, the next meeting date from November 8th, so December 5th is correct.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I would climb up. Forget it.
Yep, you're good.
December 5th.
I'm ahead.
Yeah. So the next meeting will be the week after New Year's, because New Year's will close.
January 9th.
January, right, the 2nd will be closed. Okay. We have the acceptance of the minutes. Make a motion?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay, we're all set. Any opposed? All right.
Do you have a quorum on enough people?
Yes, we
do.
do.
Yeah, Paul, Terry, Ron, and Kathy represent 4 out of 7. Yeah. But thank you, Mary, for checking that. That's. I am. Yeah. So you want to just reiterate what Mary's question was?
Yes, the question was on if we had a quorum today, and yes, we do. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of us here, 5 out of the 7 board members that are voting members that are on board today. So we're all set for today. So now we'll go to our treasurer's report.
I'm wearing a mask today because I have a touch of bronchitis. I didn't know you could have I thought you could either have bronchitis or not bronchitis, but my doctor says I've got a touch. So anyway.
Is your mic on?
Yeah, folks, want to make sure your mic's on. There we go.
All right. I'll reiterate, I'm wearing the mask because I got a touch of bronchitis. I didn't know you could have a touch. I thought you either had bronchitis or not. But my doctor says I've got a touch. And she's got me on an antibiotic. But I'm not spitting up or none of that stuff. But every once in a while, I hear me cough. Anyway, on to the treasurer's report. This is the treasurer's report as of 11:30. First of all, we'll go over the monthly one, which is this one here, 11/30/22. The general fund is in good shape. We are about halfway through our fiscal year, and we've got almost over half of our money left, so we should make it through to the end of the year. There is one plus item up under overtime. If you'll all look at the overtime line, you'll see a positive figure of $204.45. That was reimbursement from the city. During the summertime, Rob, our maintenance person, has to work also at the city pool. And they take his pay out of the senior center money, but then they've reimbursed us. So in overtime now, we have $704.45. Well, other than that, everything else is in very good shape. The salaries are at the top. And expenses for the month under November 22 are right there. So we are in good shape so far. Under the gift fund, there have been fortunately nobody has given us any gifts this month. Nobody gave us any gifts in November, and we didn't, of course, spend any money. So the total in the gift fund is $55,470.48. Okay. And then, and the next page is the revolving fund, which, as you can see, we started off the fiscal year at $33,370, and we've spent a bit year to date. But in November, we did not spend very much, only $332.19. So we have an ending balance of $34,697.50. So that's good. We will be spending money out of that during the Christmas season, and that's what the fund is for, to provide things for the Christmas season for the seniors, meals and food and things like that. So that's good. Of course, we won't be spending all of it, but it is good we have a healthy balance. And then
I'm just going to quickly, before Terry explains this, I did something a little different with Terry on this financial report. You're going to see at the end of the next two pages, you're going to see a set of data sets that starts with carryover FY 2021, carryover FY 2022. That's the summary report for this year. That's really all of the activities summarized from July 1st till now. But I figured I'd break it out for you, because we always talk about, oh, we took this money from fiscal year 2021, we took this money from fiscal year 2022, and we took this money from fiscal year 2023. There were carryovers for the last 2 years in our state grant. That's a rare occasion. So we're able to spend that money still. We received it, we put it in, and encumbered that money, we're able to spend it. So this just shows you from which fund we spent which things, and then the last of the 4 spreadsheets gives the summary. It's the consolidated amounts. All right, Terry, it's all yours.
So the last 4 pages are the state grant, and you can see it starts with the carryover from fiscal year 2021. And at that time, we had $1,241, which we were able to carry over. In the years before this, you had to spend all that money. But with COVID coming in, they changed the rules a little and allowed you to carry over, and you don't have to spend all your state grant.
Just a point of clarification, the actual amount we carried over into 2023 is the top number, the 83,443.72, and I think what Terry was saying, what we have left after what we spent this year is $1,241.21. So we started this year with $8,343 from the 21 grant.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah.
That's what we're doing. Mike, would you mind if would you finish it off then?
Yeah,
He
because this is a
explained
little
it
different.
all to me, but you know.
So again, just really breaking it down for you, for state grant fiscal year 2022 in the 2023 budget year, we carried over on July 1st $15,952 and have allocated $8,837.95 of expenses towards that. So today we have a balance from the state grant 2022 as of November 30th of $7,114. And we'll do this and then I'll go to Paul. In 2023, we started with $49,464 on July 1st. We had an additional award of $14,508, which gave us $63,900 roughly. And of that, in 2023, we spent $4,070. So we're carrying over, or not carrying over, our balance right now is $59,000. So all of that is actually summarized, what we did in that very last spreadsheet. As you can see, the carryover from 2021 as of July 1 was $8,343.72. The carryover for 2022 was $15,952.08. The beginning balance for 2023 was $49,464. These are grant years, not carryover in terms of funds, and an increase of $14,000. So our total revenues from state grant was $88,267.80. We spent $18,810.90 in those categories. You'll see subscription software, supplies, food, tables and fixtures, instructors, which is by far the largest expense, some maintenance, entertainment, equipment rental. Our balance as of November 30th from all the consolidated state grant revenue accounts is $69,000. Paul Crowder.
Just because new here. Are these restricted funds, are they specific purpose funds, or are they general operation funds?
Yes. Yeah. So there used to be and there still are, pretty strict requirements on what we can spend the money for. The state grant doesn't allow, for example, capital expenditures. So prior to fiscal year 2021, we had to provide documentation and backup and follow a very, very rigid set of parameters. In 2021, after COVID, they waived that requirement and said that this money can be used for any purpose that is legitimately agreed to by the Council on Aging. So, buying a new Maserati for the director, probably not allowed, but pretty much any other programmatic expense that serves our seniors could and would be allowed. We do have to provide a summary report at the end of the year, what some of the areas where we spent money, but they're not as rigid as they were 2 years ago. So, yeah, the answer is there are some parameters, but they're much looser than they were.
And also Mike is going to be spending money out of the earlier grants, the FY20, so that we can close that one out, and hopefully maybe the 2020. So that's where he's going to, any expenses that come up, he's going to pay out of those grants to close them out.
Has the state, has the state put a maximum on the amount that can be carried over from year to year?
Yeah, thankfully the answer to that right now is no. It used to be zero. So prior to 2021, you couldn't carry a dime over, and what you didn't spend would be deducted from your next year's grant. That is no longer the case. They allow us to carry over. But I'm always concerned. I think when we start carrying things 3 and 4 years, that's a little bit much slower. We'll spend down that money first in, first out, so we'll allocate those expenses to the 2021-2022 grants, and then start allocating 2023 this year. We will likely carry some money over into 2024 from 2023, but my hope is we don't carry anything over from the last 2 years.
I have a question. Can you explain a little bit about the 22-23 budget? Because I know the state runs the budget like from July to July. Well, we all live on a January to January kind of thing. So I saw we got 21, we got 22, something to do with 23, even though we're not in 2023 yet. So.
30 years ago when I first started with the city, it was as confusing to be for me, understanding the municipal fiscal years, federal fiscal years, and your own fiscal year. But a municipality's fiscal year starts on July 1 and ends on June 30th. And it's the June 30th date that defines the fiscal year. So we are currently in FY 2023. FY 2022 ended on June 30th. FY 2021 last year on June 30th, 2022. So when we say 2023, it's from July of the previous year until the year of that date. Yeah, so it's 2023.
Thank you very much, Mike. I know I find that confusing myself.
I do too.
Okay, and I think anybody watching will say, how come you guys are talking about next year when we are into next year now? So, all right, so do we have any questions on more questions on the treasury report? All right, can we entertain a motion to accept?
I accept. Motion that we accept. Wait a minute. I make a motion that we accept the treasurer's report as is.
I second.
Okay, any discussion on it? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, go vote.
Any opposed? Always have to ask.
Still gonna ask, okay, anybody opposed?
Anybody abstain? No.
So, you know, I push Ron on that, because we don't do a voice vote, we don't do an individual vote on record, since we're doing it by kind of mass vote, we always have to make sure we get a collective response. So if you wonder why I kind of do that, just to make sure if there is someone who votes opposed to on record as opposing. That was it.
Still taking me time to learn this, you only do this once a month. So, okay, so now we're all set with the treasury report. Do we have anything to follow up with old business? We're going to take the old business, Kenny? Okay. All right, then we're going to go to new business.
Yep, we've got a new location, Waterford Street, new business.
Oh, I thought we were bypassing new business.
No, we're bypassing the bylaw updates.
Oh, okay. Okay, so new location for the Waterford Street. Let Mike explain what's going on there.
All right, so the staff, along with Ron, walked through the building to be a little bit more specific and direct about what the improvements are that need to be done. And we've created a punch list, if you will, for the folks that are managing this project for us, State Representative Zlotnick and the Mayor's Office. So we've created that list and identified what the room's going to be used for. But as we continue to progress in this transition, that's fluid. That may change a little bit. What I want to do is just first open up for discussion, any questions, any thoughts, comments, and then to invite a couple members from the board who might be interested in being on our housing committee. That would help direct and influence and provide recommendations for the move. We'd like to have a couple members from the board in addition to Ron, if there are folks that have that interest. If not, that's okay too, but just want to put that out there. So first, general rooms. So we have 7 rooms, or general items rather. We have 7 rooms, 7 activity rooms, as well as shared space in the gymnasiums and the cafeteria. Our current plan is to use 1 room for crafts, knitters, quilters, carvers. That'll be 1 dedicated room, a craft room. A dedicated room for pool. We'll have a games card room, that'll be room number 3. The library tech room lounge, which we're going to cut up a little bit and make a middle entrance from the parking lot, so it'll include a 7-foot wide walkway. It'll make the room smaller, 23 by 30, but in that room we'll have our library, our tech center, and a lounge. We'll have a meeting room, so a room dedicated for meetings like this, AARP board, Golden Age board, general community meetings, or a community room. We'll have a special programs room for things like taxes, AARP, driver ed, and other special programs. And then rooms 7 and 8. Room 7 will be our yoga room, fun and fitness room, bingo room. So we'll be turning that room over at least daily, if not a couple times a day. But that's the only room we'll have to do. And then a theater. The last room will be a theater/meeting room. So the nice thing about the theater/meeting room, although it'll have 10 rows of 4 chairs, 40 chairs, it doesn't only have to be used for productions or movies. We can have a general assembly in there or some other kind of meeting space. We've kind of predefined and chunked out what the office areas will look like and how we are going to have our staff placed, as well as counseling rooms, health clinic rooms, and constituent services rooms for elected officials. We've also identified storage areas, marked those out, start to kind of identify where we're going to put certain products for accessibility and ease. But are now kind of knee-deep into the process, as well as creating a checklist of items that have to be done here. So what are the things that has to be moved from here? What are the major pieces? So we're working on finding vendors to move, for example, the refrigerators and the pool tables. Those are going to be kind of extraordinarily high expenses. Right now, the estimate is about $1,000 a pool table. So it's going to be close to $5,000 for the pool tables to be moved. And once moved, they take the felt off, they'll have to refelt them. The felt is going to cost us about another $650. So it'll be about $1,600, $1,700, almost $1,800 per table to move. So those are some of the things that, we're always looking for help in identifying. Your expertise and assistance would be greatly appreciated if you're so inclined. I think that's all I have for your location.
I was up there with Mike and Rob last week one day. It's going to turn out to be a pretty nice place for all of us once it's all set up and painted and a few little fixing things up to do. And we're still looking at sometime at the end of next year.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was hoping by Labor Day, but it looks like it'll be closer towards about this time next year. Give them a good chance to remodel, a lot of plumbing to do also in here. So hopefully get everything gets going pretty quickly.
Gratuitous spoken. We've had a couple businesses from the community engage us and offer to do some of the renovation work, which specifically means painting. The rest of the work is going to be done by contractors under the bidding proposal. We did receive $400,000 that was granted to the city of Gardner for renovations at the center. It's not just for the senior center space. It includes like all the electrical upgrades that are going to have to be done, lighting, ceiling systems, things like that. The vast majority of it will go into our center, but no one understands that that's not all going to be used just for updating our space. There are 4 different agencies going in, and each of them has a particular set of needs that will be addressed with that funding source. But we are looking for folks that may be inclined, if there's a business out there, somebody who's related to a business that might be willing to come in and paint a day, paint one of our rooms, kind of adopt a room. We would appreciate that. We have, literally 15 rooms that we have to kind of renovate. What doesn't get renovated during the move, we'll do over time, but it would be nice to go into that space kind of fresh and clean, patch the walls, repair the floors, what have to be done, but none of it is necessary to move in. We don't have to have fresh paint to occupy the space. So I'm putting that out there, a request, asking for folks if they'd be interested in assisting us, that's a way they could do it.
Okay, it's Paul.
Mike, is there a definitive of who the 4 agencies, are one of them us?
Yes.
Okay, good. And who are the other 3?
Well, we have the CAC upstairs. They're going to be taking over what I believe is the library wing at the current school, or what was the current school, to the left of the, when you're facing it. Gamma is going to be taking over the first floor of the former junior high.
Both floors.
Both floors? I thought they were just
The first floor,
for a while.
the whole 2-story.
All right, and I'm corrected. Then we're taking over the building to the right of the, when you're facing it towards the wider field side, we've got all that space over there. And then Growing Places is going to have spots down by the CAC and right in the kitchen area, up in that area, by the cafeteria. The cafeteria itself and the junior high basketball court, no, that's going to be a shared space. So whenever we need anything, or some of the other groups need for something available.
That's great.
Oh, go ahead.
Senior Center, CAC, Growing Places, Gamma.
What is it?
Gamma.
No, before that.
Growing
Growing
Places.
Places.
I didn't get that. What's
These places here where they have the vegetables growing in these hydroponics, they're going to have more of them when they get there.
And they do a farmer to family program, so they'll receive raw product like, a couple cases of squash. They'll clean the squash, cube the squash, process and bag the squash in the vacuum sealed so that it's just a turnkey meal. So we can bring that home and boil it or cook it and not have to do the preparation, season it, all of that will be included. So they have a pretty good scale project now, but they're going to ratchet that up significantly because of the space that's afforded to them at Waterford Street.
I have one more question.
You're just full of them tonight.
I know I am, sorry. The lunch program, that's going to continue at the new center.
Yeah.
And so currently they have it downstairs that would eat in the kitchen at the school, I would assume. How's that going to work?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a combination. So the auditorium cafeterium, we'll call it, is available for our use, and Our food vendor will still be able to use the kitchen to heat the food, but we are looking at creating in one of the meeting rooms a food space. Like we have to have a refrigerator someplace and a place for us to bring the food in and prep it. So chances are very good that one of those rooms will have the capacity to heat the food. But if not, our plan right now to go in today is to use the kitchen and the cafeteria for our congregate meals. And I think by virtue of the fact that we're bringing all those organizations in together and really expanding the footprint, we'll be able to expand the number of people served from that program beyond seniors, but certainly including seniors.
Okay, anybody else have any questions for Mike or I? All right, then we'll move on. Under new business, the director was going to have a nice long report, but hopefully he gave some of it already.
Thanks, Ron. You know, it really is, it's a lot of fun giving this report every month because so many good things are happening in our center, in our community. And I want to start with that because I really appreciate the people that have come together and supported our center in so many ways. This month, in our newsletter, I put in a little note of gratitude. I missed some people, as I knew I would, but folks like Mahjong and you know, our bridge players, missed them. The folks that do the knitting and quilting and put together the mittens program just are exceptional examples of seniors that are working on behalf of our community and doing good things. I certainly want to thank CHC, a great healthcare partner, have been very involved in working on the COVID-19 clinic we have coming up on December 19th. We are beyond what we thought we would be for number of appointments. We had a capacity built in for walk-ins that we are now filling with appointment spaces. We will do certainly well above 150 folks at that COVID clinic on the 19th, which I'm really excited about and couldn't happen without our healthcare partners. And by the way, CHC also donated one of the Christmas trees here at the Gardner Senior Center, so I just want to say thank you to them. As well as the number of organizations. You know, if you came to the Thanksgiving dinner, we served in excess of 300 meals. We did 270 between the drive-through and the dine-in portion. We had a number of volunteers in the kitchen from the Elks, probably 20 volunteers from the Elks, easily as many volunteers from the Senior Center. And then we did care kits for the police and fire departments. We estimate we did about 340 meals on Thanksgiving. The drive-through went incredibly well. The folks that worked it were very diligent and focused, moving the food between the Elks and beyond. But certainly, it goes without saying, and I say it all the time, it couldn't happen without the volunteers. We had a great cadre of people that just were so fun to work with. They were so committed and, you know, very, very diligent about the work they did. And so super friendly, engaging our seniors in so many ways. So I really appreciate all that they did. I would be remiss if I didn't very specifically point out the Elks Club though. They were there all week, receiving food, prepping food, working in the kitchen, just did, once again, a remarkable job in preparing our Thanksgiving dinner, and we're so appreciative. Between the Elks, the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, and this year Wachusett Manor, who have really stepped up with financial donations, we'll cover the cost of the food, which the food prices, obviously, for everyone went up. Our containers, utensils, things like that. Typically, I expect a little bit of a deficit, and we'll have a little bit of a deficit, but it won't be substantial because, again, of their support. But also, we are modeling our Christmas dinner like we did last year. And instead of asking one organization to really do all the work, we've asked and enlisted a number of organizations. So this year, the Elks is going to make the turkeys again for us. By the way, we went from 10 turkeys last year to 16 turkeys this year. If you came to the meal, it was tremendous, and we expect to do the same thing again. We have 18 turkeys ready, on the wing for us to do a great meal. But folks like Alliance are really providing some of the accoutrements, like the cranberry sauce and butter and rolls and things like that, to make the meal a little bit nicer. Haywood Commons is doing our stuffing. Wachusett Manor, again, financial support. John Sportchuk, financial support. LeBlanc and Mackay and Chairtown Lumber, financial support. But we have Gardner Ale House doing the salads for us. Whitson's is doing the mashed potatoes. And I tell the story all the time about Whitson's, I won't tell it here, but just a great group of people who want to make sure that our meal is one of the best around, and as do all of them. We have Williams Restaurant doing vegetables. We have Table Talk providing the pies. So just a great group of people. Gardner Rehab will do some giveaway items, and Hayward Hospital is looking at doing another dessert item for us. So it'll be a great meal. We encourage folks to sign up. We do stop reservations a week before. The meal will be held on December 23rd here at the Senior Center as a drive-through option. So folks are encouraged to call, sign up, get their number of meals reserved. We'll be serving from 11:30 to 12:30. And I imagine we'll easily have those 300 folks. In addition, we have Commander B.J. Farrell. Commander Farrell is coming on January 25th. We've already had a ton of reservations for this program. It'll be held at McNally's. We do have to cap it. So if you're interested, join now. There is a price, and the price is strictly covering the cost of food. And we Terry talked about in the financial report that we cover some of the programmatic costs. We will be subsidizing, at least in part, some of the costs of the meal for this program. In addition, we have the support of the Golden Age and AARP Club. So the cost of the meal is $15, full plated served meal with dessert, coffee from McNally's. In addition, though, if you're an AARP or Golden Age Club member, the cost is $10. You get $5 off. I tell people this all the time, it only costs $5 to join Golden Age and AARP, so you've made your money back right today on this program if you're a member. If you're a veteran, it's even lower. It's $8 if you're a veteran, so $8, because we really like to have the veterans come. For those of you who don't know, B.J. Farrell is the first female commander of the USS Constitution in its history over 225 years, and included in that day's program, we'll have the Middlesex County Volunteer Fife and Drum Band performing for us. A pretty kind of cool program, so that you can join us. Holiday programs, well, we're going on right now at the Senior Center. We have Crafts with Jane, origami, making Christmas ornaments out of cash, which is really a cool program, and appreciate Jane for doing that. We have our Christmas movie matinee coming up. On Wednesday, we have our holiday open house for the Senior Center. On the 14th, we have the holiday open house Christmas party for the Golden Age Club members. And on December 21st, we have the AARP Christmas party. On December 15th, we have the Tops Christmas party. We are just full of cheer and good times here at the Senior Center. On December 12th, we have Stephanie Fabian, the Register of Probate, and Kathy Toomey, Register of Deeds, coming in to talk about deeds, past, present, future, what it means, what holding title means, conveyance of title, trust, how to put your property in trust. It's going to be a really good, remarkable program, very much focused on real estate, where some of our other legal considerations have been much broad in scope and only touched briefly on the land issues. Kathy and Stephanie will be talking more specifically about those. Beginning February 1st, we have our AARP Tax Foundation Tax Assistance Program. That's free tax filings for seniors and income eligible people. It is meant to be a basic return. It's not meant to be an elaborate, in-depth return. So if you need assistance with your tax form, please call the Gardner Senior Center after January 1st. We don't take reservations or appointments until after January 1st. Our Shine Medicare counseling has absolutely exploded and gone through the roof. We'll do about 1,300 folks for Medicare counseling all year, but 3 days a week from October 17th to December 5th, we have been full with appointments. Paul Crowley, when you get there.
I took the time to visit with the Shine counselor, and probably going to save about $4,000 a year.
4,000, holy cow, that's incredible. Yeah, they do incredible work. You know, we're so blessed to have partners that do our Medicare counseling, like the Shine counselor, Gail Noel, who, you know, really is just such a remarkable person, so knowledgeable, and Keith Aubin and Integrity Medicare, their group, so involved, so dedicated. We're able to do other things because of our capacity here for Medicare counseling. We're able to provide mass health counseling and private insurance counseling too. So folks that may not quite be at 65 or at a place in life where they have no insurance, we can get them connected to insurance even if they're not eligible for Medicare. So it's a great program, and Paul, thank you for that testimonial, because that's what drives people here. On the fourth Tuesday of every month from 3 to 4, we have a financial planner in the office, Paul Fitzpatrick from GFA, our Lighthouse Consulting. They're here doing office hours, so if folks have questions about their investments. We have a ton of trips and excursions, so thankful to Diane Pellet for putting those together. Our COVID vaccine, we talked about that, and we are still looking for some vaccinators. I am the vaccinator. So if you're interested, have a license, and are able to poke people, please, are willing and able to come and sit with us for 6 hours, please give us a call. We have some training we're working with our staff. All of our staff now are ServSafe trained, so everybody here is able to supervise a meal preparation, and food storage. We're now certified in choke saver and allergen awareness as well. So just a lot going on with our folks. What else do I want to say? I think that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to just mention that we are looking to, at the prospect of buying a golf simulator. So if you are available and interested and have a particular expertise in that area, can help steer us in the right direction for one that's affordable and that makes sense for the senior center, we'd love to get you enlisted in that regard too. Paul Crowley.
When you were talking about the delivery of meals and the drive-through pickup, what agency in town is getting meals to people who don't have cars?
Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels?
Yeah.
And what's here?
So we served about 2 years prior to COVID. We started seeing a decline in the numbers of people that were coming here. But at our height, we were probably serving somewhere between 60 and 80 meals. Pre-COVID, it was between 30 and 40 meals. Post-COVID, it's been substantially less. On a really good day, you might be serving 15 meals in-house. Part of that is that during COVID, people found another modality of getting their food. So Meals on Wheels is serving almost everybody that we served in our congregate meal now. They're serving by meal deliveries. In addition, one of the things that has hurt us, we've gone to prepackaged meals. So food, people do come here to eat, but the meals are prepared and packaged hot, delivered same day, but they're not the same as when our kitchen staff would fry up the onions and peppers, on the stove downstairs. We will be going back to that very shortly. So instead of prepackaged, we're doing bulk food preparation on site. I think that enhances the quality, and I will also say I don't think the quality of the food is bad that's coming at all. One of the things we started 2 years ago is we asked our food service company to include the staff periodically, at least once a month, if not twice a month, with a random food item. So the staff is invited and encouraged to taste that, to try it, and to give feedback. And so far, there's been one dish in 2 years that they didn't really like, that we've said, please don't serve again, and we haven't seen it on the menu. So they take us kind of seriously in that regard, and we're very appreciative.
I just have one thing I want to add to what Mike mentioned about the dinner on the 23rd. It gets very congested over here on Pleasant Street. So I don't know how many people have noticed it. It's on the front page of the newsletter. But we're asking people when they come for the dinner to come in by the Pleasant Street Bridge side, coming in, passing the Grace of Mission Church, the old St. Joe's. And you just come right up here to our parking lot, and then you just turn right into the parking lot, make the loop, we'll pass out the meal to you, and then you're on your way. I guess they would want to take a left turn and go back, probably, I mean, the right.
Yeah, we are going to have a one-way traffic pattern. I'm just going to emphasize something Ron said. If you come in from the Pleasant Street side or the Baker Street side of Pleasant Street to get in line, we're going to make you go all the way down the end of the road. We're not going to allow anybody to turn left coming into the parking lot for meal pickup. They'll have to go to the end of the line. So it'll be easier just from the onset. And we're telling folks that when they register, please line up on the Mission of Grace side, come in from the Pleasant Street Bridge side. Otherwise, you're going to have to go down and make a U-turn somewhere around. We did about 200 meals. No, just the other night. The Gardner CAC does a congregate meal on Thursday nights. They served the week before Thanksgiving, they served the Thanksgiving meal, had a huge turnout, and I think we got the whole line through. We redesigned the line a little bit to be able to manage it. We did a double line coming into the parking lot. We'll do that again on the 23rd. Move all the cars out of the parking lot to Missioner Grace Church, and we'll do 2 lines. We'll get them out pretty quick. We'll certainly get 300 out in an hour. We got 180 out in about 25 minutes at a very, very leisurely pace. Very leisurely for Thanksgiving.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Do we have any other issues that anybody want to bring up for new business? Is that what we are, new business? Or the first of the old business?
Yeah, we'll do some open discussion.
Okay. Okay, we have open discussion. Go ahead, Terry.
Okay, I'd like to put on my, if you excuse me, put on my AARP hat for a moment. As you can see in the bulletin, the AARP for many years ran a Christmas raffle to raise money so that we could give scholarships. This year, during COVID, we couldn't do it, but we decided to start it up again. But unfortunately, we started a little late this year, and we've been doing pretty good, but we could do a lot better. So if any of you haven't bought a ticket, and it only takes 1 ticket, I've got some here that I will sell you. They are 6 for $5 and $1 for 1. And the prizes are $100 is first prize, $50 is the second prize, and $25 is third. The drawing will be at our AARP meeting on December, is it the 19th? The 20th. 21st. It's a Wednesday, and you don't have to be present. All you'll have to do is put your name and phone number on this little ticket here and give me some money, and you'll be entered into the drawing. So if anybody that would like to, I'm here, I got tickets, I got pens, and it only takes 1 ticket, or you can get 6 for $5.
Just to be clear, 1 ticket costs $50, or you could buy 6 for $5. Just make sure.
But it's for a good cause. We did the scholarship at the end, I think it's in May, and we'll have Mike put in the senior review, which we've never done before, but we'll start off with that. But anyway, if you don't, as I said, you don't have to be present. Just have your phone number. We don't even need your address, just your name, phone number, and you'll get a call.
A lot of folks ask, why be a member of Golden Age or AARP, and there are a number of reasons, and we bring this up at the Senior Center all the time. It's the ability to have numbers to represent us, to advocate numbers, to have that group behind us that will do things like ensure Medicaid, Medicare funding is available, to ensure Social Security isn't ever affected, and to do those kinds of things like tax circuit breaker legislation. They're really important. But if we go beyond that, there are trips and excursions and discounts that AARP members get, and certainly other membership organizations do similar things, but not necessarily specifically for seniors. So it's so vitally important. The Golden Age Group provides so many programs and information sessions and the ability for us to come together, but for you being a member. And so I would just say the last piece of this is the cost is almost silly. It's $5 a year to be a Golden Age Club member. So for $5, why not? Even if you come to one event. AARP chapter membership is $5. To be an AARP chapter member, you have to be a national member. National membership right now is $9. So for $9 a year, plus $5 for your chapter, $14 a year, you can be an AARP member. So what are some of the benefits? Well, if you come to the summer outing, you get $5 off. If you go to AARP driver education, you get $5 off. If you come to the January 5th program, you get $5 off. Plus you can, so there's $15 right off the top in programs that you get a discount for just by being a Golden Age or AARP member. So I hope that you would consider that, and there will be more as the year goes on, because we know that these two organizations provide very valuable, necessary service to the seniors in Gardner.
Well, after the meeting, I'll be here. State, if anybody from that
Also with the discount with AARP, if you get the national card, you can use it like your AAA card. You still get discounts at restaurants, you get discounts on your hotels, whatever. So, you know, it's not just something for local people, it's for everybody, and you can go anywhere with it. So just need the national card for that.
Now, Ron, just a comment. Did you know, we talk about AARP chapter membership, and from the board, it's as particularly relevant and important as anything else we do. There are only 3 chapters left in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There are only 3 state chapters left, and the Greater Gardner chapter is one of those. The other 2 are in very large metropolitan areas. So I think that's another reason to encourage folks, encourage you that are listening, watching, to please be a member, continue to support the sustainability and viability of our chapter. It's all about folks being members and being engaged. We hope you'll consider it. Ask for it for Christmas.
This is a great segue because you were talking about discounts and things like that. Recently I put on Facebook about the fact that Ocean State Job Lot has a senior discount, and it's on Mondays at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. for seniors, 62 and older. They have 20% off all their food products. And the reason I bring it up is I have a Keurig coffee maker, and they have an 80-cup box of K-Cups there for $20, which is still a steal, but I get it for $16. So I put it on, because they take 20% off, so between 8 and 9 on Mondays, and I put it on Facebook, and I was surprised to see how many people weren't aware of that.
I didn't.
You didn't know this?
No, I did not.
What store is it?
Ocean State Job Lot on Pearson. And the other thing that I wanted to suggest is we've been looking in our house to, cut our costs because of rising prices, things like that. And this past week we cut the cable. And I think that would be kind of a nice idea for a seminar or somebody to show people how to cut the cable. Because we were paying close to $200 a month on Comcast for our internet and our cable. And we didn't get all the fancy channels either, so they have a $30 discount for seniors, which when they don't broadcast, and they kind of make you go through the mill and back to get the $30. So it brought our bill down to $189. Well, then we cut the cable, and our internet went down to $71 because they honored it. It was $101 for just our internet. But because we qualified for the $30 discount, our internet was $71. And then we signed up for YouTube TV, which was $65. And so we're paying like $136, where we were paying close to $200. And I think a lot of seniors are afraid of cutting the cable. And that's quite a bit of savings. You're saving $60 a month. That's over $700 a year. And you're getting, and it actually is as easy as having cable. So I don't know.
That's a great program, and I definitely will pursue that and looking at doing that in next year, absolutely, early part of next year. The $30 discount is that's the federal discount, right? And you have to be qualified for that, don't you? Yeah, you do.
It's called the Connectivity Discount Program benefit, and it's not just for seniors, but I think it is income based.
It is, yeah.
But we qualify for it, but they didn't ask us for what our savings were, so they don't let me pull from my savings, because we're both on Social Security. But we did qualify for that. We did it, I don't want to say 9-10 months ago, and it brought our bill down under $200. But then we thought, well, why don't we try cutting the cable and end up being $60 less? And
Let's cut the cable.
Yeah, what is cut the cable?
Cut the cable. Nancy's asked what cut the cable means, so get use the mic, Nance. But it's cutting out what we have come to know as the only modality of providing TV entertainment, which is cable TV. So, and what are the other ones? How do you watch? Oh, there are a ton. So, the Fire Sticks is one, and I mean there are Hulu. Roku, yeah, there are a number, but having somebody come in and talk about those would be
If
great.
you have a newer TV, many of them already have it built in, where if you just cut the cable and have internet, the TV will be on the internet service, and you'll see when you start your TV up, you'll see like Roku, YouTube.
Netflix, Disney, yeah, there are a million streaming services.
There's a million, and you can click on that right from your TV, if there's a brand new TV. And I understand Roku also has its own TVs,
Yes,
They do.
so you can buy a Roku
Pay for
TV,
this, Roku.
yeah, R-O-K-U, Roku.
You don't really have to pay for that.
The Roku sticks, you can get,
The Fire Sticks,
$40.
yeah, pretty cheap, $30 to $40.
yeah, the Roku was 24, I got at Staples, because I had an old TV, but I had two newer TVs, I had 3 TVs, and I had 2 new ones that I didn't need to get the Roku stick. But the Roku stick just gets plugged into your TV, and now you have internet on that TV.
Just like your cable plugs in, the Roku stick does.
Think of it as a large tablet, you know, and you have, you can just go to the remote and travel the internet.
Paul Brown.
Yeah, tagging on to that, maybe somebody from Best Buy or Walmart would.
Yeah.
would,
That's it.
Yeah, we can definitely start pounding the pavement.
Separate topic.
Yep.
I wanted to thank the organization for letting me start a writing club. We've had 2 weeks, and there's 4 of us. And what I'm hoping it does is do 2 things. 1, stimulate the idea of writing, and 2, improve cognitive skills among seniors. And I see it happening already in just a couple of weeks. So if you know anybody who's interested, we're happy to expand. We're going to meet weekly now instead of monthly because there was requests for it. And not everybody has to be there every week, but it's kind of nice to have people showing up and interested.
So if you're interested in writing any kind of material, poems, songs, books, anything,
Articles,
articles,
term papers, it doesn't matter. It's all writing.
come join us. It's every Monday at 1 o'clock in the library.
Yeah. 2 of the people turned out to have worked for the Gardner News at the same time, but don't remember.
Huh.
And so it's interesting. One was at typesetter, and the other worked in the editorial room. So it's kind of interesting.
We're always looking for content, Paul, too. So, a lot of the material we provide in either the email blast that we send out or in the newsletter, we create the content based on our own experiences or talking with somebody specifically. So it might be nice to create a volunteer group of writers that are interested in doing articles or exposés or those kinds of things for seniors. That's something we can talk about as well. I think that'd be great. As we look at the new location, and this is again a nice segue, we've been asked to start a language club, Spanish and French, which we can't do now. We don't have the time, time slots available, so we couldn't do something consistently. Or others.
Are any French speakers in Gardner?
There's a few.
So you make that joke of that, by the way. When my daughter decided to push her parents and say she was required to take an instrument, to say, I want to take bagpipe. And one wouldn't assume there were bagpipe players in Gardner, but there were 3 instructors here. So you find like kind of the strangest things when you ask. So we'd love to start that. And the other one I wanted to mention, writers, the language club. Public speaking. We had talked about doing a public speaking course or a series of courses. Again, difficult to do right now because the schedule is so tight, but as we look at expanded space and opportunity, we can certainly explore that a little bit more. One last thing on the discount program, Paul Proud.
There is a copy of a textbook on public speaking now available in the library.
That is signed. Signed? It is signed, nice. It will be soon. I have a picture of that signing. Just the last thing about the discount program that Paul brought up about Ocean State, it was so great for them, recognize seniors. If you're an AARP member, we talked about AARP members senior discounts, you can get into Tower Hill, I think for free on Tuesday, or
First Tuesday of the
super
month.
discount, first Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday.
And they have super Christmas decorations up now, it's like lit to the extreme. So if you're a senior, want to get out, go to Tower Hill on a Tuesday night, and either get a deep discount or get in for free because of your AARP membership. All right, and by the way, to explore that, it's the Botanical Gardens in West Boylston. Beautiful. If somebody's interested in helping us put together that book, I would love to have a list of discounts and opportunities for seniors in the Gardner area available, so somebody can come in and we can just hand them that sheet of everything that they can do. All right, Mr. Chair.
Do we have anything else anybody wants to bring up for new business or discussions? Okay. Can I make we're going to go for our next scheduled meeting will be on Monday, January the 9th. That'll be the week after New Year's, because New Year's Day is the first Monday. See, it falls on Sunday, Monday's a holiday, and the second, so we're going to follow the weeks of the meeting on January the 9th. Same time, 2 o'clock. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, seconded by Terry. Okay. Anybody, all in favor? All right. All set. See you all. Have a nice Christmas, everyone, and we'll see you then in January.
They do it every week.
I realize